Hey, besties, welcome in. So, we have a bit of a project that we need to do today. So, I got two new bookshelves, and honestly, that's probably not enough because there are a plethora of books that are currently unshelved. But we're going to do our best to make this work. Our task. We need to put this stuff away. I've got two empty shelves. I have my TBR cart that is still set up from the fall. So those need to be like integrated back into what's going to go there. And I need to like finish the bookcases. So the bookcases are together. They're mounted to the wall. But with the other ones, you can see that there are like lights at the top. So I need to get the lights mounted to the two new ones. I need to take down the Christmas decor. And then I think I want to hang this thing in like the little cubby hole that's created here. And you're gonna be like, Sabrina, why is there a random gap there? You should put another bookcase. Well, the problem is there's a plug there, and I use that plug quite frequently. So this is how it's gonna look. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, we got a lot of things to do. Let's just get started and let's see if I can figure this out, if I can fit all of these books here. I also just want to like kind of reorganize a little bit. So it's loosely organized, but I think it's gotten a little out of hand as the days have gone by. So I don't know. Let's just get into it. Let's figure out what I'm going to do. Maybe clipping the mic right there will be okay. I don't really know, but I need my hands. You know what I mean? Let me start by taking down the Christmas decorations because I think that's going to be like the first, like just clear it out, get it out of my mind kind of situation. Got a lot of time. Don't wanna let it slide. Okay, so now I have a couple of issues that I want to solve. The first is that I need to figure out how I'm going to organize all these shelves, and I want to put my cart over here. What I want to do is I want to get my 26 and 26 on this cart, and then potentially the first pile over here are all of my books that I got for Advent, because I also want to focus on those books heavily during this year to kind of like give my husband feedback. He bought me 25 books for Advent, and he did ask me to do a review on the books. So I feel like it's my duty as the receiver of 25 books to honor that request. So I want to put my 26 and 26 and my 25 from Advent on this cart and just have that kind of be like my go-to grab a book when you're in a mood kind of situation. I also would love to, and I don't know if there's room for this, but I would love to have a shelf that's just specifically my library haul books, because I went to the library today and I picked up I picked up 6 books today. I would love to be able to just like come and display them somewhere. So gotta figure that out. I don't know if there's room for that though. So we're going to figure this out together, besties. The other thing I'm debating is you can see, let me see, what can you see? What can you see? So here's the thing that I'm debating. I've got these kind of like the corner situation here, these two, and then I've got these 3 that are on the wall. Trying to figure out how I want to split up my fantasy versus everything else, because fantasy is going to take up a lot of space, but then everything else, like, do I want everything else to be on this wall by itself and then fantasy over like doing the corner situation? Or do I want fantasy to be out here, like front and present, and then everything else over there? I don't really know what I want to do here. Like, I'm so indecisive and I'm acting like I can't just undo whatever I've done. So y'all, I'm going to do what I'm going to do because you can't help me in real time, but please let me know if you disagree with my choices. I think that I would like to do fantasy as this wall. So 1, 2, potentially a third shelf, and then everything else on those shelves over there, on the 2 that are like facing like kind of weirdly. I'm going to take everything off of these shelves and kind of rearrange and then figure out what I'm supposed to do with all the rest of these books. So I want to make the first shelf like right when you walk into the room. This one is going to be fantasy hardcover, and then I'm going to put my fantasy paperbacks on this shelf. So I also subscribe to L'Oreal, and real talk, I have not read any of these books, which is ridiculous. I think I'm going to do a reading vlog on that to see if it's worth it. But I think I'm going to do the top shelf to just be like my L'Oreal books, and then we're going to go fantasy hardcover, and we're just going to go ham on that. Once the fantasy's out of the way, I think it'll be so much easier to figure out what to do with the rest of these books. Shelf number 1 is done. Okay, let's keep moving with our fantasy hardcovers. Let me get the L'Oreal books unboxed and onto their shelf at the top. Oh, this is gorgeous, like freaking gorgeous, right? And I haven't read it yet, so here we are. This is December. That's also December. I've got more of these. Y'all, I done lost my books. Where did my other L'Oreal books go? I know I've gotten more than this. So where's my other book? All right, we got some more fantasy hardcovers. For right now, I'm going to face them all out. I may make some changes later on. Oh, I found another L'Oreal book. This one is from July. We're still missing at least one of those. Look at all the stars. She's starting to look good. She's starting to shape up. I can definitely tell I'm going to reorganize this, and I'm probably going to like color code it a little bit. That sounds crazy, but that's probably what's going to happen. She cute. Okay, I found the rest of my L'Oreal books. So there are 2 more that were missing. I'm actually attempting to, these are from October. I'm attempting to shelve these in month order. And I'm going to read them one day. Then we have our plainly colored, that sounds bad, right? Our plainly colored hardcover sprayed edges, where they're just like a single color. And you know what? I'm going to move the short ones. I had them on their own shelf, but there's not that many of them. So I'm going to move these up to be up here as well. Oh, this one is actually not plain. So it's not plain, but it's short. So I think this shelf works. Okay, that's what we're working with. I've got 4 shelves done. That's not bad. I don't want this shelf to get any fuller without me reading these books. Yeah, I've got 6 there. I need to get reading. Now we have 2 shelves at the bottom, and I think I'm gonna just grab my non-sprayed edge hardback fantasies. I don't think there's that many of those, but let me go grab those. Whoops, I forgot to put. Have you read this series, the Harper L. Wood series, The Coven? I've got 2 of the books, and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with them. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Those, I'm going to jazz that shelf up just a little bit. All right, let me get these. What was I doing? I am so off task and distracted. I don't know what I'm doing. Getting the hardcover fantasies that are not sprayed edges. I've got these 3, except remember when I wanted to pull out my 26 and 26? Where are the rest of my hardcovers though? There's got to be more. I know there's more. This actually might be it. I'm not a big hardcover girly. So now I'm going to come to the other empty shelf, and I'm going to do my paperback hardcovers. Should I do like series? Is that all right? Series at the top and then like nonsense at the bottom, because series kind of look a little bit better to look at. All right, I need to sort through some of these and see which ones are series and which ones are standalones, and like figure out what's going to happen here. As I'm looking around, I am absolutely frightened at the number of paperback fantasy books that I have. I don't know what we're going to do, y'all. Okay.
Hold up, got a good feeling, can't sleep, my heart is beating faster than usual, feeling the city lights, break free, gotta make a run, cause the night is way too young, it's only begun, just let all your problems go. This just feels so right.
Okay, so here's the state of things. On this shelf, I have put all of my series that like I have the series or have most of the series. So if it's a trilogy and I have 2 out of the 3, it's on that shelf. On this shelf over here, I'm doing all of my either standalone fantasy paperbacks, or I'm going to do the ones that are part of a series, but I only have 1 of the books in the series. And because I'm a special person, it's not always the first book in the series that I have. What I am doing, however, is I'm going to rainbow batize. Rainbow batize? Did I just create a word? Okay, whatever. Does that look weird? I should put it in height order, right? I think so. Hold on. That feels better, right? Let's continue on. So I think I'm going to do like our blues and purples, and then going into red. Oh, blues and greens and purples? I don't know. Well, what is Roy G. Biv? Red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, violet. So it should be blue, green, purple. Listen, I didn't go to school for this. Okay. I went to school for nutrition. Leave me alone. Blue, green, purple. So we go from our blacks to our blues, and then probably that one followed by, oh God. Why these books keep falling down on me? These are my greens. I don't know if that feels right. That feels super wrong. But then we go into our purples. Because I think from there we were going to go into red. I need to figure this out. Give me a minute. Okay, listen, this is taking way longer than it needs to take. So I'm going to clear off this. This is like literary fiction, general fiction. I'm going to clear this off because I'm going to put my last bit of fantasy paperback here. And then up here, we're going to put sci-fi. And then this will be like the sci-fi fantasy section of the books. That leaves me these two shelves for literally everything else. I think we can do it. We still have to organize our cart, which I don't think all these books are going to fit on there, but we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. So let's keep it pushing, y'all. Okay? All right. Let's just move this out of the way. This is such a beautifully organized shelf. I almost don't want to ruin it. The books falling over is doing me in. Now let's get the sci-fi shelf together. There's really not that many. I definitely thought there'd be more sci-fi. Like, I love to read sci-fi. No, you don't. Like, literally, no, you don't. What's going on here? Okay, fantasy sci-fi is finished. The rest of this is romance, horror, mystery, thriller, lit fic, all that stuff. It's got to be fixed up. I got to clean the shelves off. So that's what we're going to focus on next before the night is over. This is our 25 and 25. So apparently I have no idea what I'm doing. If that much is not evident by now, well, I'm making it crystal clear for you. I don't know what I'm doing here. I found the rest of my sci-fi. Now the problem is the sci-fi shelf is super full and I don't want to mix genres and I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to put it up here. Yep. I'm going to keep a nice neat pile of it up here. That's what's going to happen. Remember that time I bought the Wool series by Hugh Howey because I just couldn't wait to find out what happens after wherever they left off on is it Apple TV, on the Apple TV series, and I haven't read it yet. Just could not wait to find out what happens next. I gotta get my life together. Okay, sci-fi has been moved. That's the rest of sci-fi has been found and moved. And now I think I'm gonna take my nonfiction and put it down at the bottom. There's not even that much of it if we're being honest. And it just doesn't need to have a central place. It can go down at the bottom and it'll be fine. It'll have a good time down there. Come on, Kamala. Let's go, girl. I need to read these. You might think, girl, what have you been waiting for? The answer is, I don't know. Hold on. There's another nonfiction somewhere because I just bought it recently. Where did it go? I found it. Okay, there's one more. I just bought this one. This is why I'm like, I know this one's missing. I imagine at some point that shelf is going to have to share with other things, but I don't know what that could be. Not only does Book of the Month brand their books so that everybody knows it's Book of the Month and not just a book that you wanted to read, but they also have the absolute audacity to be a different size than the rest of the hardcover books. Like, please. I know that mystery, thriller, horror is not going to fit on one shelf together. So I have two hardcover books that belong in that section. I'm going to put them down here with the literary fiction hardbacks because there's more room down here and there's only two of them. So I feel like it's okay. I also took the shorty literary fictions and put them down here on the shelf with the nonfiction. I'm getting super creative. Okay. That feels good. Let's move on to these shelves where we're going to put our paperback literary fiction. And these were already kind of basically organized from the shelf that they came from. I'm just basically moving the shelves over, but I do have some to add to it. So we're going to have to recolorbize these. I'm such a mess. I'm so sorry. While I'm down here on the ground, because these 42-year-old knees ain't doing it for me anymore. While I'm down here on the ground, I'm going to go ahead and put the one or two romance hardcovers that I have on the bottom shelf. Okay, I guess there's three of them. Okay, I'm getting a little lost in the sauce, and honestly, this is an exhausting project. So what I want to do, because I think one thing that's in my way is the fact that I want to put my 26 and 26 on this cart, and then I want to see if there's any extra space on there and potentially I can put my Advent books on there. I don't think there's going to be space, but like I just want to get this party started. Okay. So let's put those on the cart and see what kind of space we're working with afterwards. Beautiful. The Priory of the Orange Tree is also going at the bottom because she's large Marge. Who else needs to go down there? I I have a stack and they are all books that are like in a series. Most of them are the start of a series, and that's a little disturbing because there's a lot in that stack, and I don't know why I would do that to myself. But I think my thought process behind that was if I pick books that are in series, then that will incentivize me to read the rest of the series. I don't know if that's true, but that was my thought process. I feel like I should count them to make sure that I got all 26 of them. So I got 2, 4 on the back, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4, 25. Why are there 25 when there should be 26? This going, oh, it's fine. It's just on the floor. Hold on. Found it. Okay, this is good. So I've got the 2 bottom shelves that are my 26 and 26. And then I will leave this shelf for like books that I have finished throughout the month. Or maybe I'll move my library stack down to this shelf too. That way it's ready to go for me when I am doing like my wrap up videos and whatnot. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We're so close. But this last shelf over here is the romance, and she needs organizing. There's a ton of romance books on the bed too that need to get put into the mix. And I don't know if I have the brain cells to be working on the romance books right now, but I absolutely have to do it because the house cleaner is coming in the morning and it is 9 o'clock and there's not time for me to not do it. So wish me luck, best friends. I just kind of feel lost. Like I don't know what to do with these. Also, my Advent books won't fit on the rolling cart. So I think I need to give them a shelf as well. Can I get them all in one shelf? No, I cannot. Girl, get it together. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to have to come up with a game plan off camera because I'm literally about to crash out and it's just organizing books and that's so unnecessary. Let me come back in a few minutes. All right, friends. It's the next day. I warned you in the last clip that I was going to crash out and I totally did. Like, I don't know what the problem was, but I figured it out. So I got the books. I got the romance was the last section I had to do. I got it done. Should we just take a tour? I also have a total number of books. These are all of my unread books. All of my read books are in a different place. They're in a different room. These are just unread books. Let's just take a little tour, shall we? So the first shelf here is all of my fantasy hardcover books, and most of them have sprayed edges. Up here at the top, I have my Allurial books from that subscription. It's Book of the Month's fantasy romantasy subscription service. And then I have books that are hardcover fantasy, and they're supposedly the ones that are just one singular color on the sprayed edge. She snuck up here because I also put the shorties up here. It is what it is. And then these, I didn't know what else to do with. The organization started with good intentions. And then if we come down to this shelf, I've got all of the, like the fancier sprayed edge version ones. And then it's on the next shelf as well. This shelf is just fantasy that is like not sprayed edge. And then at the very, very bottom, we have our fantasy. They're actually, most of them are paperback, but they're like the chunky ones. So those are my chunky boys. Okay, let's move over. Actually, I'm going to bring you over a little bit. This shelf is fantasy paperback, and specifically, it's the ones that are part of a series. So a lot of these, I have the full series, like the Jasad. I have that's a duology. I've got the whole series there. And then these, I've got the whole series. Jade City #1 is on my 26 and 26, so it's not here, but I do own the full series of this. Everflame series, I think there's another book. I think is this a quadrology? I think there's 4 of these, but it's not out yet. So you get the point. Like I own all or most most of the series of these, like up to publication. So that is that whole shelf. And of course it goes all the way down, and it's literally just a repeat of what I said. The whole shelf is that way. You can also see there is my TBR cart, or what used to be my TBR cart. It has now become, the bottom two shelves are my 26 and 26. And then the top shelf here is just what I've read so far this month. You can also see up at the top here, I've got some extra books lying around up here. Like this pile is extra sci-fi because there's only one shelf of sci-fi, which is this shelf. And honestly, there's just like not a lot of room here. And then I've got all of my blind date with the books. And this is just like an extra series that I didn't have space for anywhere. So like I said, I've got the one shelf of sci-fi, and then like the extra sci-fis are up here. Below that, I've got my paperback fantasy that is either standalone or I only have one book from the series. So I've effectively made it a standalone. So that is the rest of this shelf all the way down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 shelves of a standalone fantasy, whether it's actually standalone or I made it standalone. So then if we come over here to this kind of like corner-y shelf, we have our horror, mystery, thriller. They're all together. I know the sign says horror, but I just put them all together. It's fine. And then we start with our literary fiction, and that just kind of goes all the way down. I have the paperback literary fiction, and they're kind of like, I don't want to say they're like rainbowed because it's not really a rainbow. I just kind of grouped light colors with light colors because I'm neurotic. But anyway, so we've got those, like you can kind of see. So like we start with the white and we go into the yellow. Then we've got the greens, which moves into the reds and the pinks and the purples, which comes into our dark blues all the way into our black. So that's all lit fic. And then below that, we have hardcover literary fiction. And then these are 2 mystery books, but they're the only 2 hardcover mysteries that I have. So they're down here because the mystery, thriller, horror section is full. And then down below on the very bottom shelf, we have nonfiction, 3 Lisa Jewell books that wouldn't fit up on the shelf up above, but those I'm going to read pretty soon because I'm going to read them for a reading vlog. So I just kind of chucked them down there. And then leftover literary fiction hardcover that I can't explain to you why they're down there. They just are. Like I made a distinction last night and I've forgotten what it was. It makes sense in my brain. Okay. I'm so sorry. So these are just library checkouts, and I do plan on having a healthy number of library checkouts this year. So they're just going to kind of like live here until I get to the point where I have too many books and I need the space for something else. No, we got books at home. We're not buying books at the bookstore. Okay. Says the girl who's literally going to the bookstore today to pick up An Arcane Inheritance by Camilla Cole. But that's my business. Okay. You manage your own business. And then we go into our romance. So this is romance. This right here is any romance book that has the word summer in the title. I don't know. This felt like a good thing to do. And then this is just a pile of random romances, and it was loosely color based. And then I had 2 green books and I didn't know what to do with them. Coming on down, I've got, these are kind of like either series or like I have more than one from the same author. So you can see like my Carly Fortune, my Ashley Poston, and then I had 2 random blue books left over. So this was like a blue section, but I've got like Hannah Bonham Young, your girl, we're not talking about her. Listen, I bought these before I knew about her. Okay. I won't be buying anymore, but they're here, whatever. So that's what that shelf is. We're almost there, y'all. So then this shelf is a bunch of other romance, and it's kind of like whites and blues and blacks. That's basically what happened down here. But essentially, I don't have like 2 books from any of these authors. So they're here. Down here, we have, I don't know, hold on. This is like a trilogy. And then I have the rest of the Liz Tomford series here. I've read one of the books. And then I've got, I have 2 books from Megan Quinn, and I have 2 books from BK Borison. These are not series, but they wouldn't fit anywhere else. Oh, and I totally forgot. Behind this shelf, behind all of these books, I don't know if you can see them in the frame. These are all of my fall romance books. I just kind of tucked them back there. I won't be reading fall romance books anytime soon. So they're just kind of tucked behind these. Hopefully by the time we get to fall, I've cleared off some room here. I've read some of these romances and I can bring the fall ones forward, but we do have the summer facing forward. So don't worry. Okay. This last shelf here, I have some more of what's going on here. So I have like 2 from an author or they're a series. So just kind of match them together. And then my only 3 hardcover romance books. One of those is a short story collection, and then the other 2 are just regular romance books. So that is what I came up with last night. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody besides myself, but that is what I was able to do. Okay. I just needed a minute to collect myself. And then you can see this pile right here. I didn't really have, I could, I guess, separate it and put it into its like appropriate piles, like the piles that match what they are, like their genre, but I didn't, because these are all the books that I got for Advent, and I did promise the man that I would do reviews of each of these books this year. So I wish that I could have put them onto the cart with the 26 and 26, but they weren't all going to fit on there. So they're just still in the stack. But this will give me incentive to get them, because the whole point of getting extra bookcases was so that I didn't have books on the floor anymore. And yet, and still, here we are with books on the floor. Okay. Let's talk about the totals. Okay. So this first shelf over here has 52 books on it. Of course, my cart has 26 books on it. The second shelf has 57 books on it. This fantasy shelf has 72 books. That's the fantasy sci-fi. I've got 14 books up top. My horror / literary fiction shelf has 85 books on it. The romance shelf has got 78 books on it. And then, of course, I have my Advent pile on the floor, which has 24 books in it. I technically got 25 books for Advent, but I've already read one of them. So, all in all, she has 408 unread books on the shelves behind me. I do have some unread books that were on December's TBR that I just didn't get around to. So there's there's 2 books over there. So it's 410 books. And then today I had to go pick up my girl Camilla Cole, her brand new book, An Arcane Inheritance. This is my December new release for her yet. Even though it is December 30th, you technically have an additional 60 days to finish it. So I'm going to start it today and I'll finish it in a couple days after December's over with. So anyway, and while I was there, I picked up The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Now listen, don't come for me. I don't know what happened. I was just in like a blind rage. I couldn't find Arcane Inheritance and I got scared. So I picked up a book for comfort, and then I just ended up with 2 because I ended up finding the book I was looking for. My store only received 1 copy of this book, and that to me is honestly rude, but whatever. It was there waiting for me this afternoon after my dentist appointment. So I'm good with that. So yeah. Oh, but there is one other thing that I want to show you. Hold on. I think I have to back the camera up for this though, don't I? So this is just natural daylight. It is daytime right now, but you see that? I don't know that it like helps with filming. Maybe that'll just be my new vibe. Like this will just be what it looks like now. And it's a dimmer too. It can dim. I don't know. That's kind of vibey though, right? Ooh la la. I'm actually filming in the daytime with the natural light behind me. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today and for helping me get my life together with these books. Hopefully now we're organized for 2026 and I cannot wait. I'm literally about to turn the camera off right now and go film my TBR for January. I cannot wait to read it. Like I want to read all of these books so bad. I wish that I didn't have to do adult things like go to work, because I would just be reading. Like I would just start on one side and just like read my way down the shelves. That sounds like a dream. That sounds like an effing dream, you guys. I would love to do that. I would love nothing more than to just be reading. But I have to do things like go to work and do my laundry. So hopefully we can make a good dent in this year. We'll see. So what did I say we're starting with? Yes, 412 books. That is our ground zero. It is December 30th when I'm filming this. There's no chance for me to go buy more books after this. It's because I'm hosting for New Year's Eve. So I have things I have to do tomorrow. So we're starting the year with 412 unread books. Let's see what happens 1 year from today.